Alrighty. Good morning, Cherry Creek. Before I introduce myself, I actually want to start off with a little story of a man. His name is Kirk, and a woman, her name is Sherry. And 25 years ago, Kirk and Sherry met right here at this church in a young adults group, similar to what we would call Kainos today. If you're in Kainos, you're awesome. Thank you for being here. And Kirk and Sherry, they would go on a couple of dates, and eventually they would actually get married. Actually, they got married right here where I'm standing. They would go on, they would have a son, they named him Glenn, then a daughter, they named Grace. Then by the grace of God, they had a third child. And this child, before he came out of the womb, he was already trouble. He flipped upside down in the womb, and then he was just shy of 10 pounds, a little over 20 inches. So this is a pretty big baby. And over the years, that baby grew a little taller, gained a little bit of weight, a little bit of muscle, and is standing here in front of you today. Cherry Creek, my name is Garrett Norblom, and as I allude to in my story, I've kind of, in a way, grown up in the church. I grew up right over there in the children's wing, where actually my mom works now, my mom Sherry. If you have little children, you definitely know her. And really growing up, I wasn't very involved in the church, or at least not like I am now. As a matter of fact, I wasn't really involved much in anything. I played sports and I had some friends, but it seemed like I could never really keep those friends. Like, I would have friends for a year or maybe a year and a half, and then we would lose connection or get into a fight, and I just couldn't ever seem to keep friends. And that was kind of my life throughout elementary school. And then I would end up going to 6th grade, and I was super excited to join the youth group here in 6th grade. I had seen my older brother and sister go on all the retreats, and I was super excited to be a part of that. That was all I wanted. And then the very first time I went on a fall retreat, to say I fell in love would be an understatement. I was enamored by the people and the energy, but really I had come to love and really fall in love with my small group, the people who have really shaped me into who I am today. And since that day, I made it a point to go on every retreat that I could and miss as few Monday and Wednesday nights as possible. And even to this day, I only missed one retreat and just a handful of Monday and Wednesday nights, which to me means a lot. And that was just kind of my life up until my junior year of high school, when really COVID came and hit hard. And I didn't know what to do. It was my second semester. I was about to go into my senior year of high school. I had a lot of questions and a lot of doubts. And once youth group was canceled for a couple weeks, I felt really lost. I didn't have my family, my support group. And then I'll never forget the first night that we had a Zoom youth group. My youth group and my small group and I, we stayed up until about 11 o'clock talking about anything and everything, even like Wendy's breakfast, which isn't very good if you've never had it. But even then, I still had a lot of questions, a lot of doubts. I didn't know how my senior year was going to look. If you don't know, being a senior in this youth group typically means a lot. At our fall retreat every year, seniors run a lot of games, do the rules video, which is always super important to us, and I didn't know how that was going to look. And then once fall retreat was canceled, it really hurt me. It really shook me to my core. I didn't know what to do. And then I still stayed optimistic until it seemed like everything else was getting canceled. We had our winter retreats, Boone and Snow Camp canceled, and I just really didn't know where I was going, what I was going to do, until just a couple of weeks ago, we had our senior retreat. And this was also really in question because we didn't know if it was going to happen until really a couple weeks ago when it finally did happen, and I couldn't have been more thankful for it. I was able to spend the weekend with my brothers, my family, and my girlfriend Christiana of 2 years, who I also met through the youth group here. And it was just so incredible to know that I was always going to have this family. Going from a kid who never could seem to keep friends to having a family that I knew, even after going away for 4 years of college, I could always come back to and will always have. And that's because of God and because of this church. So as I close today, I want to give you a little message from Mark chapter 10. This is verses 29 through 31. Truly I tell you, Jesus replied, no one who has left home or brothers or sisters or mothers or father or children or fields for me and the gospel will fail to receive 100 times as much. In this present age, homes, brothers, sisters, mothers, children, and fields, along with persecutions, and in the age to come, eternal life. But many who are first will be last, and the last will be first. Cherry Creek, thank you so much for shaping me into who I am today. I couldn't be more thankful for this church. Thank you very much.